T minus 28 minutes until we learn something for real, for real. It's going to get techier than techie things around there as we are. Round 9, Spanish Grand Prix, Barcelona, Circuit de Catalunya, and it's all about this flexi-wing stuff. I try to remember offhand the technical directive. I want to say, all right, look, put 100 kilograms on either side of the front of the flexi-wing. And if it flexes, it was 15 millimeters. It is now 10. The inside portion of it, 60 kilograms. It was 5. It was 10 millimeters. Now 5 millimeters. Anyway, it's changed. It doesn't matter. Let's not get lost in the details though. I watched F1 Tech Talks with what's his face, Sam Collins on there. And he does a good summary. I'll link it in the description so you guys can watch it. I like to not get lost, wrapped up in 2 decimal place settings. Me, do you know what I mean? Nico Rosberg currently calling Frederick Vasseur out, mate. Do you know what I mean? You got this car that's really difficult to drive. What are you doing about it, Frederick Vasseur? Let's go, Nico Rosberg. Being chicken, says Brett. It is EK. What's EKC? Is that Dave Hughes? Let's see if we learn anything this session. I think we're going to. Qualifying will ultimately be the litmus test, right? But I think we'll learn more because here we go. Oh no, Lewis Hamilton on deck. We just went through it. Lewis Hamilton just laughing and joking. It's mad. I don't know. I'd like to see Lewis Hamilton happy, of course. It puts a smile on my face, but bloody Nora Lewis. I suppose what else do you want him to do? Do you want him to be crying and wailing and throwing tomatoes in front of the world's press and media? A Lewis Hamilton smile always puts a smile on my face. I'm not even going to tell any lies. It does. It just does. Got to keep my head down, says Lewis Hamilton, and I've got to keep working. I wasn't expecting anything for another 2 to 3 minutes. I know visual. I'm trying to work on the punctuality. It's unacceptable visual. I despite my most recent performances being worse than Scuderia Ferrari, them there red cars with a yellow badge and black prancing horse on top. I abhor lateness. I've got to sort it out. It's uncharacteristic. Let's go, Mood. We're getting there. Oh no, Mood. Saw Nico's commentary. He's not bad, is he, Mood? I don't hate him. I do not hate him. He's a proper legend. When he gets in his bag, even just now when he was holding Frederick Vasseur to account, what's going on with your car, mate? Lewis Hamilton, I was down trackside, and Lewis Hamilton and Charles Leclerc's cars both look super twitchy. Twitchier than twitchy things. Naomi Schiff talking about Lewis Hamilton on a roller coaster. He's not been great, man. That's the only strict look. If in one race Lewis Hamilton is like 3 or 4 tenths or 5 tenths per lap behind Charles Leclerc, then you can chalk that up to an anomalous circuit. Here we go, Nico Rosberg. Nico Rosberg just said it. Acceptance. That's the word. This is why Nico Rosberg. Yes, Nico. It's the acceptance that's the paradigm shift from Sir Lewis Hamilton. That's the bloody word. I'm glad that Nico, that's the paradigm shift as far as an attitude from Sir Lewis Hamilton. Naysayers will say, well, what do you want him to do? Start kicking and screaming? Well, it depends on the lens through which you view Lewis Hamilton's performance. And Mama Cameron, a fundamentalist of a Sir Lewis Hamilton fan, will say, listen, she doesn't want necessarily, she wants him to win, but if he's not winning, she'll recalibrate her expectations accordingly. Where I want Lewis Hamilton to win in absolute terms, regardless of the circumstance, and I'm not prepared to recalibrate that, because I remember how good Sir Lewis Hamilton was even in 2006 before we got into F1. So I just want that dude to win, and I'm not I won't negotiate with terrorists, if you understand. Nico's got turtle dove. He's not bad. Silly question. What cam for these videos do you use? Cam? I don't understand, Ben. Silly question, mate. Gonna have to rephrase. It's gone over my head. Cameron, the Lily Kravitz of F1 commentary. Pete, you're a legend. I appreciate you. Cheeky word with King George Russell, who said, of course, nothing's changed. Sarcasm from George. TD018's definitely pegged McLaren back, but again, it is just FP2. White pants, Nico. Nico's the best guess. I think Nico's the legend. Cam got the white pants. Welcome to the stream. Jomo, you're a legend, moderator extraordinaire, and we are T minus 23 minutes away. Oh, the humanity. I don't even know what. I just hope, desperately, let me be honest again, won't sacrifice truth nor objectivity at the altar of partisanship, nor any other cognitive dissonance worthy of the moniker, of course. But I'm invested in Maximilian Verstappen PLC here. To the big time. Forget the bets for him to win the championship. Forget forcing to be 5-time champion. I don't want to see another 1989 where McLaren go and run down the road and nobody can catch them, or another I don't know 1992, 93 where there's one car that just destroys the rest. I want a couple of cars, and if it has to be Maximilian Verstappen outperforming it and genius, then I'll take that. Do you know what I mean? Cammy's hand washed. Oh, I feel magic. It's the terminology, isn't it? Just like when Damon started talking about Max Verstappen, that Dick Dastardly tactics and sport doesn't build character, it reveals it. I don't know. I think I want to be careful with my language around Sir Lewis Hamilton. If I'm criticising his performance or any other one of the drivers' performance on the grid, then I'll go all in full send. Is Lewis washed? Flipping Nora FPL. You're asking me the questions, mate. Look, I'll phrase it ever so slightly differently because it's techier than techie things. This Lewis Hamilton question. Is Lewis Hamilton the 2007 Lewis Hamilton, or the 2014, or even the 2021 Sir Lewis Hamilton? I doubt it. I don't think so. And I've had a conversation with some diehard Sir Lewis Hamilton fans who are now starting to recant and admit that this season and last will redefine and recalibrate the way in which we view Lewis Hamilton and his legacy. Because already there were naysayers waiting in the wings saying that Sir Lewis is only a fast car merchant. As soon as he's had a driver in the other car capable of challenging him, Jenson Button, mention no names, Bottas on occasion, mention no names, King George Russell, mention no names, now Charles Leclerc. Anytime you've had a serious dude on the opposite side of the garage, Nico Rosberg, Lewis Hamilton has struggled, some say. And over the past couple of years, this only gives more validation to those theories. I'm not sure that I'm on board with that 100%. I don't want to revise for history. Lewis Hamilton, like I said, everything that Max is doing now, I remember Lewis Hamilton did, like redefining the parameters within which these F1 drivers have to work. Lewis Hamilton was that 2007. I remember he was that. So I don't want to erase nor revise for history, but the most recent performances of Sir Lewis Hamilton, how can you not ask questions and call yourself of rational mind? T minus 20 minutes. Good question though, FBL. I think we're going to keep talking about that ad infinitum over the course of the season. Lewis just never liked this version of ground effect car. Maybe he jumps into it. Maybe he jumps in next year's car and all of a sudden active aero falls in love with it and remembers who he is. Maybe it becomes 2007 Lewis all over again. Maybe Lewis doesn't even see out the 2025 seat. Maybe he just sacks it off. Never give up on all that, I get it, but sometimes it's the smarter play to just tap out now. Which horse is your money on, quite literally? Oof, are you right? Max P1 or not, peeps? Oof. Max P1. We'll get some odds out shortly, Benzi. I do know this, that Lando Norris is now favourite to take pole and wasn't yesterday. 40% of the time they say Lando Norris takes pole now, whereas yesterday it was 37%. I think they were impressed by Lando Norris's headline making, like the dying embers, bloody Nora, those medium compound runs at the 118s from Lando. Mate, concerning. I've heard several other aficionados say that the 1 lap pace of Max is what you need to pay attention to, or the multi-run pace of Max on soft compound tyres is what you want to pay attention to. I'm not so sure. Excuse me. Hay fever. Nothing like Supermax, says F1Gs. It'll be old and grey and still trying, says Rafa. Go on then, let's have this conversation. 138 if you're watching concurrently, do me a favour and smash the like. Let's have this conversation now then. Is there a right time to quit? Is there a certain nobility from knowing when to say when? This is the oldest truism in sporting history, not just F1. That F1 drivers, boxers, tennis players, that they don't know when. It's very rare that you get, I don't know, a Khabib Nurmagomedov in the UFC that quits at the perfect time, right, and doesn't diminish their legacy. You should always want to quit and leave them wanting more, right? Maybe Khabib quit too soon as far as his UFC. He had other defenses that he could have made. But too early is the rarity, right? The exception that proves the rule. Most of these sports athletes grow addicted to the high of competing and the victory, standing on top of the podium, spraying the champagne, confronting the press and media that have called you out and stopped believing in you, and then you nail the first and 25 points or a qualifying at Monaco like Lando Norris, the god tier qualifying from Lando. We'll have to talk. I've been watching that overnight. Holy smoke. The final sector from Lando. Oh my goodness. Lando 2.0. Put some respect on his name. Do you know what I mean? So too Massenet. He wasn't quicker than Charles Leclerc through Massenet. But if you go back and watch the onboard of Lando, the way that he takes the double apex is nothing if not committed. If you coloured Lando Norris's helmet black or white and you didn't know whether it was Lando Norris, you'd be forgiven for thinking it was Max Verstappen. He was that committed through the double apex of Massenet. I was like, oh my God. I watched it several times yesterday. That's it's not glaze. I don't even like Lando Norris. Is the worst joke. I don't like him as a pet. Listen, I'm not sure there's much redeeming feature to Lando Norris for me subjectively, but that pole and his approach to it last weekend, holy smoke, Max-esque. Never bet against Team Stewart Jaguar, but I don't hate it, Brett. They do turn it around sometimes, don't they? 137 of you watching concurrently, do me a favour, smash a like. We are T-minus 15 minutes away from a cheeky Fp3 round 9 Barcelona Spanish Grand Prix Circuit de Catalunya. I remember going through rounds when I raced drag cars. The feeling is like, it's Turtle, you've nailed it. It is a drug. You grow addicted to the spotlight, the high and the adrenaline, the thrill of victory, as well as the agony of defeat. It's to walk away from that and then, I don't know, have another life. One Holly says Lando Norris. There's only so much sandbagging that one could do, says Easy G Turtle. It's techie, this. Oh, go on then. Nothing lasts forever. You guys are right. Nothing does last forever, Mood. Everything has an expiration date. Father Time is undefeated, undisputed. Pound for pound has never, ever lost a round. Never. So it's a matter of when, not if. But, I mean, there are those that say, if we're playing balancing game, there are those who say that, I mean, just have a look at Tom Brady, eh? Check out Tom Brady. Check out LeBron James. They're going longer. There's research now. You know what I mean? 40 years old is no longer an unalive sentence. And I get it. But I think those couple that we've just mentioned are the exception that prove the rule. And you don't want to necessarily... you don't want to base... You don't want to judge Lewis Hamilton through the LeBron James, Tom Brady lens necessarily. Not necessarily. Go on then. Let's get some. Let's get some metrics. This track is chaos, by the way. Turn 12, turn 3, turn 4. Can you say tired egg? It's gonna be. That's why they bring the hardest of compound tires around it. Have you guys seen, by the way? Not to bark up tangential trees, but have you seen that they're skipping it? Normally they bring consecutive. Sequential compound C1, C2, C3. Have you guys seen at Spa that they're skipping a compound? These are like C1, C2, and then C4. What? Mate, sometimes you got to play wacky races, you know what I mean, to spice things up just a tad. Interesting, any? Very, very interesting. Simon talking about what we saw yesterday. I want to see one of Nico or Simon talk specifically to what's changed. 15 millimeters to 10, 10 millimeters to 5, and there's 5 millimeters to 3. And what the tests are, because it's complicated. They should have it. I mean, they're the internationally syndicated broadcast day. They should know this. They should know these things. Eddie, they should know. What's your last video, Cam? I'm a fan, and his early years up against Alonso, he was incredible, and obviously all his championships. But being 40-year-old myself, I know. No, sorry, I have no idea how he can maintain that level. I mean, neither. Pirelli are clueless. FPL says, I don't disagree. It's techie. Go on then. Let's get ourselves some metrics. And again, the metrics that you're about to see on your screen either side of are brought to you, as always, by the legends over at Multiviewer. Do yourself a favour. Go and download that app on a desktop or a laptop. If you're enjoying the stream, Joma says, hit the like. Yeah, do me a favour and smash the like. Let me say at the outset, I make no apologise. Make no apologise? What are you talking about, Cameron? I make no apologies for labouring the point that this, again, this is a community chat, a fan channel even, using which we can all talk F1 in a safe space. Because it's cold out here in these F1 streets sometimes, full of disrespect and toxicity and footballification of F1. So listen, if you support Max, then welcome. If you support Lewis, welcome. Even if you support Lance Stroll, then welcome. Do you know what I mean? Do you know what I mean? It's chaos. Oh, let's go. All right, let's go. Oh, wow. Right, let's get some metrics. Supermax is the greatest. Yeah, I mean, to argue that he's not on the Mount Rushmore of F1 drivers would be to declare oneself as an abbot of unreason. But some people embrace that. When I talk to Mama Cameron and some of my best friends, they just hate Maximilian Verstappen. Max could levitate the car and put it on pole every race between now and Abu Dhabi, and it wouldn't. Some people wouldn't care. Just don't like him, and that's fine. It's up to them, isn't it? Like if you don't like greatness and sporting endeavour par excellence, then that's up to you. Like I can't. Far for it to be me to proselytise people into believing, and do you know what I mean? Into enjoying greatness. It's up to them. Just whatever. Whatever. 7, some say, seem to be 8 times. Oh, Joe, can you imagine? That would be a day. But I think as a probability, that eventuality diminishes by the second at Joma. Who knows? Maybe. I wish I was 40 again. Oh, but know what I know. I was watching a bit of Muhammad Ali the other day, and he had a brilliant quote that said, If you were the same at 50 years old, if you think the same and have done the same things at 50 years old that you did and thought at 20, then you have lived and wasted 30 years of your life. True GOAT settings, Muhammad Ali, do you know what I mean? True GOAT settings, the goatiest of goats each and every single time. I mean, lost for words, chat. Just a tad. Lewis Hamilton talking about the variability of performance now, saying that you have a good day in China and then a bad day in Monaco, and it's just like, what's one to do? What is one to do? We are T-8 minutes, by the way, away from a cheeky FP3, and I'm here for it, chat. Khabib surpasses John Bones Jones. Discipline over chaos, honour over scandal. He retired early to carry on his father's legacy as a coach. That's a real man right there. A role model, not a criminal. Touche, Umanch. But John Bones Jones, Umanch, it's chaos this. It's chaos. Are we going to have a mixed martial arts conversation already? Oh, bear with, I'm back. I don't know, Umanch. That John Bones Jones fella, it's one of these. The John Bones Jones example, bear with us. We're talking UFC and mixed martial arts as we're T-minus 7 minutes away from a cheeky FP3. Here's the thing, chat. Here is the thing. The clincher. John Bones Jones is the great. I think he's the greatest, too much. Yeah, it's just the truth. Is he the greatest person? Is he a bastion of a human being and or a humanitarian? Absolutely not. But he's the best that I've ever seen. At the weight, would Khabib beat John Bones Jones? I don't think so. If you normalise for the differential in their weights, I don't think John Bones Jones gets beat by any man in history. But he's a scumbag. Yeah, it's just the truth. He's a scumbag, isn't he? That's the sad truth of it. He is an absolute douchebag, but can you separate the man from the sports athlete? That's the conversation that we're having here, and that to a certain extent, a lesser or greater extent, is the conversation that we're having about one Maximilian Verstappen. Is it not? Isn't it? Isn't that the conversation that we're having? That Mama Cameron will think. Oh, we go, Nico Rosberg. Nico Rosberg talking about Nico Rosberg saying that Max Verstappen trackside looked like a magician because he's removed the understeer from the car. But because of the genius, he's able to anticipate for the oversteer. Look at Nico Rosberg. Let's go. Do you see that? I love it when F1 aficionados and champions 2016 say that Max Verstappen, when they can confirm all the Max glazing that we're talking about. Nico Rosberg saying that Max Verstappen was unbelievable to watch. Tsunoda's just struggling, big understeer. Max has removed all the understeer, but meaning that there's a mechanical downside, right? That he's Nico Rosberg saying he's unbelievable what Max Verstappen's doing with the car because he's able to dance that car on and around the limits of traction and or adhesion. That's what Nico Rosberg's saying. Forget me. You know what I mean? John Jones isn't valid, says Fisher. Oh, but he was good. I tell you what, though. It's hard to see the goat in the UFC, but many lie about weight and the juice. That yeah, I think underhandedness in sport, and definitely UFC is commonplace. Is John Bones Jones more underhand? I tell you what, you know what this is? This is me talking about the brightness of John Bones Jones's flow. I remember Shogun who we're talking about. Forgive me, this is an F1, but we'll deal with this UFC and mixed martial arts talk, and then we'll move on swiftly. I remember Mauricio Shogun, who were one of the best fighters that I've ever seen at the weight, light heavyweight, and I just didn't think he could ever get beat. Came into UFC and had the usual pride to UFC hiccups. He struggled, didn't he? And then when he got his mojo back, defeated Lyoto Machida, and I was like, Shogun Ryu is going to have a reign, and then stood in his way, won John Bones Jones, young, hungry, green, and we all know how that ended. One of the saddest. I bet big on John Bones Jones that day against my guy Shogun here. This is the gift and the curse of objectivity. Chaos. Round 9, Barcelona. T-minus 4 minutes away from FP3, an all-important FP3. 4.6 kilometres round there, 346 kilometres per hour. 111.383 is Lando Norris's record. 29.6 metres elevation, 66 laps. Race lap record, 116.3. The challenge for these fire-breathing dragon F1 drivers will be around turn 3, turn 4, and particularly sector 3, the dying embers of all those 90 degrees. Tyres C3, C2, C1, the hardest of hardest compounds, because it's so deggy around here. You've seen these turns, chaos turns, like long, medium to high speed, long duration. Ergo, there is a tax to be paid from driving fast around here. turn 3, turn 4, turn 5, and then those 90-degree ones towards the end of the track. It's going to get techie. It will get techie, I promise you. Let's have a go. Let me see. We'll get again all of what you can see brought to you by the legends over at Multiview. Max Verstappen said it was an okay Friday though, didn't he? Crofty's right. Anthony Davidson says it's usually a circuit that oh, you can't count out Max Verstappen. You've taken the words out of my mouth. Do you know what I mean, Jomo? You're an absolute legend. Like he's a machine of elf. He's a machine elf. Who pops up behind your closed eyes? Peter, brilliant. I can't read that out though, mate. I thought we were still talking about Nico with Ultra Trekkie. Here we go. Go on then. T minus 2 minutes. Let's get up some. Yeah, the Red Bull is suited to this sort of track, mate. Of course it is. All right, let's go. What is going on here? Bear with us, chat. I'm struggling with these metrics right now. Something's going on. Go on then. Let's just get it. Okay, Bernie Collins giving colour, saying that teams aren't expected to go out early. True. Too hot, isn't it? Oh, one set of hard tyres. You're going to need those hards in the race, eh? For 100%. Look at that. Bernie Collins says everybody only has one set of hard tyres that they will be looking to use for the race. What are you talking about, mate? Bear with, I promise I'll sort this out. Right, let's go. Bear with. Technical noob, do you know what I mean? And then we'll get back to chatting. Oh. Right. Okay. Bear with. This is all the stuff that you don't see behind the scenes, eh? Your boy Cameron is a one-man band, sadly. Something's going on here. There's too many. Okay, so don't trust this for now. Multiviewer are behind the curve temporarily, but they'll sort it out. Too many people on that list, though. Look at this. Hard tyres, in summary, are going to be a premium, chat. Just a bit. Right, let's go. Apologies for apologies. What is wrong with me today? Enunciation. I thought you were a squire, Cameron. Somebody accused me of talking like a medieval squire, to which I said thank you. Said that like I'll conform to the norm and speak like everybody else at some time in the future. Absolutely not. Not now. Not ever. Only 50 likes. Yeah, do me a favour. If you could smash the like. I'm grateful for each and every single one of you ad infinitum. T-minus to 58 minutes on the clock. What is going on here? Kane gone from the track. It was a final turn, weren't it? Back in the day. Damn, 3:30 a.m. in Phoenix. Gen X Boomer, you're an absolute legend. I appreciate you. I would like Nico Karun. No, Karun's come up in my estimations, but I don't know if he can occupy the same colour commentator space as Nico. No. No. I'm going to play around here. Bear with. Your boy's messing about in the background here. I'm trying to get you guys some accurate numbers before it all kicks off. Yeah, not many passes. There we go. Anthony D alluding to the fact that there's going to be more overtaking. He's hoping, but I don't know. Overtaking amongst the top 2 or 3 drivers is a very different matter to overtaking in the carbon fiber zone, right? Oh my gosh, I'm in California. 3,000. Samantha Perez. Ugh. John was juiced. Are we still doing John Bones Jones? He wasn't bad. Even Natty. He was brilliant. Do you conflate the human being with the sports athlete? That's the question, Visual. Much. Do you conflate picograms and all of his indiscretions outside? Do you conflate the two? That's the issue. Or can you separate them? That's the answer to the exam question now. Right, let's go. Boom. What is going on with this? Anyway, you know what? I'm going to have to just leave that up there. That will sort itself out in short order, eh? There were too many people on there, but whatever. That's what we've got to work with it today. Nico's always great. He's not bad, is he? That Nico Rosberg chap. Oh, that will refresh. That's because nobody's out there. It's far too hot, and so people are chilling out for now. Only Aston Martin out Antra. People need Karun to control Nico. Nah, mate. I think you gotta. Go on then. Switch off, back on. Well, it's 99% of the time. Agreed. Nico's great yesterday. Here's what I will say. As far as my ecograms, big up Samantha. I know, proper Samantha, you're a legend. I think this chat. I think your Mount Rushmore of commentary right now would be Alex Jakes and Nico Rosberg and Martin Brundle. 3-man booth. That's it done. Lots of arguments, lots of friction and contention, lots of debate in the commentary box. If there's ever a dull moment, Nico Rosberg and Martin Brundle can play off each other. The two-pronged colour commentator is very controversial, but I'm backing it. Can you imagine Nico and Brundle if they got a bit of I don't know. If they could get a bit of I don't know if they could get a bit of chemistry. In fact, put some respect on James Allen's name as well. Why the? Can you imagine James Allen on play-by-play, Brundle and Nico Rosberg on colour commentary? I feel like we've sold for nuclear fusion. That's it, chap. She's turning into a Nico Rosberg fan page. I will push the agenda for a petition. If you guys, you, how is it 2 a.m. in Ireland? If you guys are UFC fans, have you seen the petition that John Bones Jones should vacate his championship? Oh, the humanity. Gonna get techie. Right, go on, your circumstance. Your track is 23.8 degrees Celsius. Your ambient temperature, 29.6. Currently, everybody's chilling out because it's too hot. It's too hot. Wind coming in from the south, 4.3 kilometers per hour. Don't disrespect my sassy commentary, goat. Fielder Villeneuve. JV has some very good technical. He's good, but I don't think he's Here's the litmus test. Were Jacques Villeneuve just any Joe Bloggs if he didn't have a championship or the driver's variety in 1997? Would you even care? I don't think I would. As controversial as that is, I don't think I would, being honest. I just wouldn't. I wouldn't miss him. And therein lies the issue with Jacques Villeneuve. 276 of you watching could currently do me a favour and smash the like. I'm grateful ad infinitum to each and every single one of you for helping me build this community, this fan channel. The group within which we can have god tier modes of F1 discourse each and every single has to be done. Alan over Crofty. JA has a better bit. James Allen. I miss James. When we were talking the other day, I became a massive fangirl. I'll be honest with you. Just hearing his voice, I was like, what? No. You know what? Since we're talking about Lewis Hamilton fans, how many Sir Lewis Hamilton fans would understand the significance of James Allen? Is that Glock? It is Glock. It is Glock. Oh my goodness. They weren't there for that. They don't know. Forgive them. Do you know what I mean? They don't even know. So like, why would I indulge any of their criticism seriously? And this isn't me. I'm putting on my proselytizing goggles for a second. You know what I mean? But why would you? Okay. Why? Do you know what I mean? There's levels to this ish. T minus 15 minutes. We have a car out on track. Colapinto. Let's have a gander to see if my timing refreshes. Okay, Franco Colapinto going round purple, of course, because nobody else has done. Bartoletto's done a time. This needs to refresh shortly. I don't know what's going on with the timing screens, to be fair. But it is what it is. These are the cards that we've been dealt, so we'll work with them. Cross's voice has been it. But he was God tier once upon a time, ECG. Do you know what I mean? It's Perez. It's Leclerc. There he goes, Hamilton. It was a God tier call, that, but he hasn't had many of those since. Montoya would be good. Oof. Montoya, get over it. Lewis's past it, get over it. Colt Glazer, Sazula. Perhaps, Wulong. Perhaps. Hamilton's first WDC was such a pivotal moment of my early 100% mood. I can't even imagine. I can't separate some of those Lewis Hamilton experiences from my own personal F1 experience. They are synonyms of one another. No room on sidebar for Oscar on my machine. Andy, I was there and heard that Massa and Ferrari celebrating, and the words of Glock come. Oh my gosh, Andy, can you imagine? Chaos, Andy, absolute chaos. Massa and co celebrating, and then the bloody Ferrari engineer realizes that he's been premature in his celebrations and punches the bloody board. Do you remember, Andy? Oh, the humanity. What are we doing here? Absolute chaos. I don't know. You'll never see anything like this. And I think James Allen said those words, didn't he, Andy? You'll never see anything like this. Just, I don't know. F3, let's go. T minus 49 minutes on the clock. This is FP3. Nothing's going on there. They're waiting for 44.4 degrees Celsius. Numerical pathetic fallacy, since we're talking about Sir Lewis. I remember that. How can you forget it, Rafa, if you watched it? Do you know what I mean? Going for a trip on my bike. You are my ears for FP3. Thanks, Sadie, that you're a legend, Derek. 1978. Here's the problem, Derek. Nothing's going on. It's too hot. 43.4 degrees Celsius. Your track temp. Ambient, 29.3 degrees Celsius. 40% humidity. And it's not a like for like, is it? My dad cried for Massa. And then I cried because he got angry. I wasn't sad. Made brilliant. JV drives a Subaru Forester. I was 10 when Lewis won his first WDC. How old was I? wasn't 10, 7. Older than 10. I tell you when I was 10, when Senna passed, 10, 11 years old, all for the most wonderful times, poor Massa. Nico for FIA president. Have you guys heard that it sounds like Mohammed bin Sulayem has this presidency won in 2025? There's already got like 40 of the federations have pledged their allegiance. I think I might have to start a petition, you know, to get Mohammed bin Sulayem out of this, out of our sport. I might have to. Sebastian says Crofty's lost a step, and he sells lols. I know it's controversial, but like I swear, the passion of sports will divide families. Do you know what I mean? Wars have been waged over less. Wars have been waged for less. I was 10 when Senna replaced Mansell. Imagine. I was listening to riffing. I might get some trivia on the go. I was listening to James Allen has done a retro podcast on Autosport, and he was talking about his greatest ever season. And his greatest ever season, he said, was 1992 or 3. I haven't listened to it all, but as he's talking about the circumstance of Prost has signed up, and Mansell, I think, just won the championship in 1992, was meant to carry forward through to 93, but Williams realised that Senna had offered him to drive for Williams for free, and so Frank Williams always wanted to sign Ayrton because he was the chosen one, good look at the one to take F1 to the next level. So he had to take that seriously, and then had offered Nigel Mansell a sum of money on realising that Senna wanted to drive for him for free. Said, you know what, Mansell, your number was X before, now I'm going to give you X divided by 2. Mansell was like, what do you want about, mate? I'm the champion, I'm the star. Get it? I'll go and drive Indy or whatever. What are you talking about? And became a massive draw, right? Winning IndyCar the very next year in 93. Techie. We got him in India, 100% Gen X. Chaos. But this is why, like, I don't know. F1 life doesn't start and finish with Sir Lewis Hamilton. It's much more, you do F1 a disservice if, like Mama Cameron, Lewis Hamilton isn't winning a race and then you just turn off. You'll miss all to use the words of the legend that is Bruce Lee, don't concentrate on the F1 finger or you will miss all the F1 glory. Do you know what I mean? Don't think, feel. Got to pay attention to these things. And when James Allen's giving the like context about the beef between Mansell and Senna, I was like, can't write it, mate. Can't write it. F1 over everything. Do you know what I mean? Hi Cam, different opinion on the changes here in Spain. Prior to this, the practice sessions showed Max 0.5 to 0.7 behind the McLarens. Now in both practices, it was 0.3, 0.2 reduction. He thought, so you're talking about qualifying pace, Abda. What I would draw your attention to, however, is the pace differential. And we don't know. We've got to normalise for all these variables, and we don't have the information to write. The GPS isn't nuanced enough. However, per Peter Windsor, Peter, friend of the channel, phoned me up straight away. He was like, Cameron, did you see those last laps of Lando? I was like, I didn't spot it, Peter. What happened? It's like they were blitzkrieg quick. Have a look at them. You see that Lando's laps, he was like 118.7s, 118.9s, 118.3, I want to say. And they're quicker than anybody else on the softest compound time. Now, they weren't the longest of runs. He did like 5 or 6 laps on them in the dying embers of FP2 yesterday. But that's like a massive vehicular advantage red flag. Massive. I was -6 when Senna. You're a legend, visual. So need this when abroad, honest, you're a legend. So go on then, we haven't got anything material going on. Everybody's chilling out, although Ocon's out. Ocon and Tsunoda-san are out. Tsunoda-san keen to prove Christian Horner wrong, who's laid down the gauntlet to Tsunoda-san, saying, listen, if you don't improve, mate, just as we did with Danny Kvyat, as we did with Alex Albon, Danny Rick, Liam Lawson, and others amongst them, we will get rid of him. He'll need to improve, lest he wants Arvid Lindblad to take his Red Bull Racing lunch money in 2026. Yes, the turbos are great. Oh, you know what I was looking at yesterday? I was getting properly deep into my F1 bag. Ye Listener, YELISTENER. It's put together these. You know what? I'm gonna, whilst we're riffing, I'm gonna put this link in the video. Don't click away from here, but definitely bookmark it for later. Put this in your watch along. This is incredible. Just put this link. I've linked something in the chat. Put this link. I don't know why my nose starts itching me every time I start talking. Pinocchio settings. I must be a liar. Or maybe it's just hay fever. Bookmark that and have a listen to that. Incredible. It's looking at the noises of like old F1 cars. Oh my goodness. Oh my gosh. By the way, if you guys are just tuning in, go back and listen to the legend that is 2016 champion Nico Rosberg. Max Glazing. If enough people are doing it, then surely it's got to be something to do with excellence rather than, I mean, the consensus is the consensus. Do you know what I mean? You want to be an abbot of unreason and disbelieve the evidence of your own eyes and ears, then that's up to you. You know what I mean? I can't account. There is no accounting for stupidness. Stupidity, Cameron. Irony, any. Don't agree with it, but context matters. Brett, to what are you referring to? Spa 98 was when I became a fan, Miami says. I mean, we all have, there's no one path, right? James Allen alludes to it, that we all come into F1 via different routes. Right, we're going to get some running now. T-minus 41 minutes on the docket. Let's go. We have a Ferrari coming out, the Ferrari of Sir Lewis Hamilton. Let us go, therefore, let us go. Oh, I forget all these new names have thrown me off because they're bloody whatever. 339 if you're watching Coconut. Do me a favour, your listener is goated. We have cars out on track, proper ones. The papaya coloured car of OJ Piastri, number 81. Let us go and let your boy Cameron sort out his bloody graphics. Oh, what's going on? Everything is wrong. All right, we're only going down to 15 today. I've had enough. Nobody cares about the forgive me, chat. It's chaos out here. Being a one-man band and all that. And putting a face on camera sometimes as well. Do you know what I mean? Sometimes it's interesting, right, to see how the sausage is made. Boom! T-minus 39 minutes and 23 seconds left on the clock. Oscar Piastri's on a cheeky hot one here. Let's see. Although, look at that. Charles Leclerc goes purple sector, which I do not hate, because variety is the spice of life. As Carlos Sainz has just gone purple on a 14.1. All eyes on Charles Leclerc. Goes to the top of your timing sheets with T-minus 39 minutes remaining on a 13.9. Your runners and riders are as follows. Charles Leclerc, nobody's done anything just yet, but again, we'll go through them just for context. Charles Leclerc tops your timing sheets on a 13.9 as Oscar Piastri just goes 14.4. You would anticipate on mediums, though. You see this? These bloody papaya coloured team are just they're honey dicking us, aren't they? 321 kilometers per hour from OJ Piastri through the speed trap. Sits in third currently on those medium tyres. Charles Leclerc sits atop the timing sheet currently on a 13.9. Carlos Sainz, as near as makes no difference, 0.2 adrift. Lewis Hamilton on mediums. Let's have a look. Where's Lewis? Okay, there we go. 14.09. Closer to Charles Leclerc than one might expect. That's a 10th, and I'll take it. I will take it. If past his prologue, you can expect Sir Lewis Hamilton GOAT settings to be anywhere within 2/10 and 3/10 drift of Charles Leclerc, so I'll take that one. And Charles Leclerc, by the way, on softest compound tyres, not a bad lap normalised, therefore, from Sir Lewis Hamilton. Maximilian Verstappen on mediums goes up into 4th on a 1:14.2. Maximilian Verstappen on mediums, nearly 2/10 off of Lewis. Yeah, something's going on here, Ray. Let's have a look through the speed trap. So 328 kilometers an hour through the speed trap from Max. Oh, there is a Lando Norris. Lando Norris on mediums tops your timing sheets on a 13.8. I think this will normalise as we get into the dying embers. The last 10 minutes then we'll start to see which one of these F1 emperors have no clothes. Max Verstappen over the radio comes and says, I have no grip at the rear. GP, sort me out. Again, in line with what Nico Rosberg said, Maximilian Verstappen, 4th soon to be 5-time champion, was having to do yesterday. God tier levels behind an F1 wheel, dancing the car in and on around the limit of adhesion. George Russell of Kings Lynn, Norfolk, currently tops your timing sheet now 13.4, as near as makes no difference. 4/10 down the road from Lando Norris, but on the softest compound tyre as versus Lando, who's on the yellows, the mediums. Piastri says, I have something hard on my leg. Oh my gosh, that's going to get memed. Piastri says, I have something hard on my left leg on my seat. If you can check that, that would be good. Copy is the response of race engineer Tom Stollard. That's going to get memed, isn't it? I think. I have something hard on my leg, said Oscar Get your mind out of the gutter, Cam. Going on here. Do you know what I mean? Russell is cooking. All of a sudden, those Mercedes. I will reserve judgment on Mercedes, I'll be honest. 318 of you in the chat can currently do me a favour and smash the like, please, now, to ensure that the YouTube algorithm knows that we're not out here talking nonsense. Cheeky monster placement on car number 81. Piastri having a Seb moment, something. What have I missed, says Robert. Who are the drivers in black and white on the... But I don't know. Something's going on, Robert, there. It's a bit weird, but we move. Do you know what I mean? Schumann. It looks like F2 or something. Something's gone on with the code in the background, of course, but we move. It is what it is. T-minus 35 minutes left on the docket of FP3 round 9. Spanish Grand Prix, Barcelona, the last one. Although, is it the last one? I read something overnight that they're going to try and keep Barcelona in the... I think that's positive. One of the old school tracks. We don't need any more like Saudi Arabia's and Bahrain street circuits, Baku's. We've got enough of those. I think we need to hold on petition settings, right? I think we need to hold on to the old school tracks, the proper driver ones, the ones around which the drivers can make a little bit of a difference. That's what we need. That's what we need more of. F1 cars in a natural habitat. Yeah, a cheeky home run on civilian roads is good for you and me and we. But for the drivers, for F1 proper, you know what I mean? For the game, you want to see these cars and drivers in a natural habitat. Barcelona. Turn 3, turn 4, do you know what I mean? Towards the end of Sector 3 where it gets techier than techie things. Turn 2, turn 3 even turn 4's chaos. 0.4. By the way, go back and check if you haven't already. I spoke to it earlier. Go back and check out Lando Norris's pole lap last weekend at Monaco. And go and check out his line through Massenet and how close that you cannot fit. And those aren't the Lapicine barriers, the Armco that kind of have a bit of flex in them. When you're going around Massenet, if you touch those, if you touch the outside of those, I think that's going to take you out. Lando Norris was nothing if not committed around Massenet in Sector 1. Ultimately, Charles Leclerc was carrying higher minimum speed, but if you squint your eyes, that looks a lot like that level of commitment and precision. God tier, Neo in the Matrix, like reminiscent of Maximilian Verstappen. When he's had his Weetabix, I'm telling you, Derek, I keep forgetting that Nico actually raced against, but this is true. He wasn't a big fan, was he? This was Max when he was in his first and second seasons. Still a couple of seconds of last year pole times of sandbagging. Yeah, they're chilling out. They're fact finding, aren't they? They contracted Fernando for Barcelona, but the climate here in Spain, they were almost sure that they'll leave it for Madrid. Mood, I read something overnight that said, I know the Madrid ring, or whatever they're calling it, is nailed on for next year, but I read something from somewhere. All journalistic publications are created equally, but some are created equal than others. Charles Leclerc up to third, 13.888 on softest compound tyres. 0.5, half a second slower than George. Is that serious from George Russell? 327 kilometres an hour through the speed trap, meaning therefore he was probably carrying less fuel than was Charles Leclerc. It was nothing happened. It was just an incident of the race. An incident on the race was the quote from Charles Leclerc back in his younger day. There's a car run chat. We are here for it. Cameron CC. Let's go. You're a legend, Jomo. Proper legend. You never know what you have until you lose it. 100%. It's the new run for Max Verstappen on the mediums. Go on, let's have a go. I mean, 141 from Max. Yeah, something going on there. You can bet your bottom dollar that Max will be closer to the pole than he is now. So there's other things that we've got to normalise for. As we are, T-minus 31 minutes left on the docket. FP3, round 9, Spanish Grand Prix. Sure, not beating Norris on mediums is wild. Something's going on. Something is going on there. I don't think Charlie's going 10 tenths. There we go. There's a Kimi Antonelli on a 13.8 soft compound tyres, brand new fresh ones. Go on then, Sonoda-san. All eyes on you, mate. Your time to shine. Make your case, sir. Set to 1 yellow. Set to 2 yellow. 1.4 seconds adrift of the lead. Look at that. What's he doing again? I'm commentating as if it's quali, but it is not. It is not. I saw a cheeky. You know, let's go through this. This is interesting. I saw the theoretical best times. Here we are. We'll go through it in quali proper. But the best sector times from FP1 2025 Spanish Grand Prix round 9. In sector 1, 28.9 from Lando, 28.9 from Max, 21.9, 21 or 22.0. Those are your top 3 sector 1 times from FP1. Lando tops your sector 2 times on a 29.5 from Leclerc, 29.6 from Sir Lewis. And then in sector 3, you've got Lawson, Norris, Hamilton on 22.4, 22.4, 22.4. I don't know. When you see Lawson in sector 3, that makes you know there's something. You can't extrapolate any meaningful findings or takeaways if Liam Lawson is like your top 3 in sector 3. It's fake, isn't it? Speaking of the devil, Liam Lawson, a second adrift, going through sector 2. Madring is the most hilarious name for a track at the word. Is it the Madring, Umarch, or is it the Madrid ring? Oh no, Liam Lawson taking up some gravel. Get back to Magny-Cours. Oh my gosh, yes, proper tracks there. Magny-Cours and bloody. I mean, I don't know. Estoril, Phoenix. I'm going back to my Micropros Grand Prix days here. You know, Phoenix and Magny-Cours and what else was there? Estoril. I mean, back in my day, do you know what I mean? Cam, might I inquire as to your preference for urban circuits over traditional racetracks? Perhaps a matter influenced chiefly by financial considerations. 100% influenced by financial consideration. Here's the deal around these urban circuits, these newfangled city tracks. So me and you are going to watch anyway, right? We already pay our 90 quid or £100 a year for F1 TV or whatever. That's banked. I think you'd call that recurring revenue, dependable, sticky money. What's not banked, however, is the upside. And again, this isn't the vast percentage of money that the F1 Liberty Media commercial rights holder will anticipate and forecast for. but the sprinkles on top, the non-recurring revenue, will be the bods that come to the track, right? Again, you'll get a percentage, but you want to try and optimize for that. And the way that you optimize for it and get record attendance is by putting the tracks in places that are easily reachable. When you have a Monza, okay, so Monza's an anomaly, the Tifosi will show out each and every single year. But when you build a new track in a place that nobody can get to, Peter Windsor's idea is just replicate Spa in the desert, right? And it's brilliant. It is brilliant. And Peter Windsor and accredited journos will attend. But your Joe Blogs 18 to 35-year-old TikTok fan who's coming to F1 fandom by dint of Drive to Survive as an example, you won't see them there. They won't pay their £200 to rock up to some place that Indiana Jones wouldn't even be able to find. Do you know what I mean? You've got to make it accessible per se. So to that extent, to your point, Soroyo, I think you won't see me at any. I enjoy watching my F1 on TV. I need to have my multi-viewer and be here with you guys. So I'm always going to be here, right? So that doesn't really impact me necessarily. So if it's Spa Eau Rouge and it's difficult to get to, I couldn't give a fuck. I want to see these cars in their natural habitat. It needs to be challenging. Monaco's good. It's a nice spectacle in qualifying. But you need it to be circumstances. I hope that answers your question. Sorry. We are stuck with Sky commentary in Australia. Could they have more international voices to make it more interesting? I find Crofty tiring. 100%. I think Sky have got the contract, and I don't know why. I tell you what, the DAZN commentary, the DAZN Spanish commentary. Oh, the humanity! I wish that you could. In fact, I would recommend this. Go back and watch the DAZN commentary of Fernando Alonso's defense of third place versus Checo Perez at Brazil a couple of years ago. Even if you don't understand Spanish, you'll get it. That level of commentary and enthusiasm and passion needs no translation. They refer to Alonso as Magic. The dude's got this relationship with Fernando, and he's followed him through the feeder formula and just rates him highly. It's just a brilliant call. And I don't think we get enough of those from Crofty these days, but I digress. Jomo, you're a legend out here gifting memberships. And if you do become a member, get yourself over to the community tab, get yourself on the Discord. You get access to the emojis as always, and you get access to a cheeky newsletter that I try and get out circa once a week, talking all things F1. You have to go see F1 live. Really long. So I've seen lots of F1 cars in their unnatural habitats, home runs, and like I've seen a lot of F1 cars. I don't know. I'll go one day, promise. OJ was sliding around. What's up with it there? I think they've tapped off downforce just as an experimentation. Come the race, there'll be plenty of downforce because this is outdegging will be the battleground upon which the fight for 25 points around here will be fought. Jomo, you're a legend. Is it just me? Is Max really struggling on medium? Seen in your video earlier, but this is worrying. Yeah, look, here's the thing. Crofty can talk all he wants to about the number of overtakes that there's been around this track. If Max can put this on pole and consolidate for the pole over the course of the first lap, end the first lap in first place, it'll be really difficult to overtake. McLaren will need all of their pincer movements and undercuts and overcuts strategically from OJ and Lando to wrestle that victory from Maximilian Verstappen. So they talk all this stuff about overtake. But I think Max and Red Bull in that RB21 will be putting all their eggs in the qualifying basket. That's what I believe. Because if Max can qualify and pole, or Oscar, or Lando, qualify and consolidate for first position, I'm not sure where you're going to get overtakes around here. Unless there's a weird gust of wind. Track temperature, by the way, increasing. Was 44 degrees Celsius. Is now 47, as near as makes no difference. And 30 ambient. Humidity, 35. Wind coming in from the west, 3.2 kilometers per hour. It's techie. Do you remember a couple of years ago, Lewis Hamilton spinning out? There was like wind around. It's turn 4, isn't it? Chaos. You're a legend, Joe. I appreciate you, mate. Kicking things off in proper fashion. So Zed, I wouldn't worry necessarily about Max's grip on the mediums. Okay, what Spanish commentary? Take a look, Caroline. I'd link it. Let me see. I'll see if I can find it quickly, since we're just riffing. Where are we going? Right, this is what we need to do, isn't it? Giovanni, the legend. Thank you, mate. Too kind as always. And Scuderia SH1T show continues. Horner about to be poached? I don't think so. He won't go over there, really. But they are having they've had conversations is the point. I think that's the salient point. I mean, if Horner's tenure is at risk at Red Bull, he won't be short of suitors. They'll have to replace Frederick Vasseur with somebody. Maybe is Ollie Oakes? I don't know. They'll have to replace him soon. If he goes another season without winning any silverware, you can bet your bottom dollar that the C-suite exec level bods over at Scuderia Ferrari, red car with the yellow badges, black prancing horse atop, that they will be having conversations about the future and how that looks with/without Frederick Vasseur's team principal. I'm trying to find you a link, Caroline. Yeah, just here we go. I've got the link. That's 1.0. Is that Jaco? Is that Jaco? No, is that Jaco? Caroline, I just dropped you a link. You want to go and watch this after this stream? Just put this in your watch later. It's proper. Even if you don't speak Spanish, you'll be able to appreciate. It's per James Allen. I'm glad that I could ask James Allen because he was the soundtrack to my F1 life for so many years, and he would never cease to give the commensurate gravitas as far as his words and verbiage to the moment in F1. That's why that call was BAFTA award winning, right? Like that Brazil call in 2008. It is Gluck. Is that Gluck? It is Gluck. Oh my goodness. Like you'll never forget that because his words met the moment where it stood. Do you know what I mean? One of the craziest moments that you'll ever see in F1. Lewis Hamilton's first championship, the drivers, Felipe Massa, the heartbreak, Brazil, the chaos of it. Like it was just too. So you've got to meet that moment where it is. You can't diminish the moment by your commentary. You've got to enhance it, enrich it. And I think those guys, even though you might not, even if you don't speak Spanish, my Spanish is poor these days anyway. You heard me trying to interpret Albert Fabregas struggling the other day. But even if you don't speak Spanish fluently, you'll be able to listen to that link in the thing and you'll get it. Epic moment. It was Fernando Alonso defending against an ostensibly quicker Red Bull in the hands of Checo Perez, and then getting the overtake done on the last corner, managing it just barely by the skin of his teeth, by the hairs on his chinny chin chin. Giovanni, you're a legend. The only way Horner moves is if everybody below Elkan is fired. Too many bad habits ingrained. The only way Horner moves. I'm not sure. I think you could throw a lot of money at Jerry and Christian. I don't know, Giovanni. I mean, Christian Horner's been able to, particularly under Dietrich, Christian Horner just had his pick of the. It was his show, right? Red Bull is the house that Christian built, ergo he makes all the decisions. Do you know what I mean? When there is an enemy at the gate, you defer to Caesar Horner. And I think he works well underneath that. But again, you've got to win. You've got to respect, and that level of trust is earned, not given. And I think in that sense, Christian Horner, by dint of 2021 Drivers' Championship, turned a corner, didn't he? Quite literally. Exactly, even if he leaves, the team won't exist anymore. Hajar will be sad later when PSG lose to Inter Milan. Oh my gosh, look at that. Your boy forgot. Goes to show how much I know that it's the Champions League final later on. Don't even watch football anymore, which is sad because that used to be my pole position sport. Spanish is so beautiful and flowy. I'm convinced anyone can learn it if they listen. Even for a while, it's easy. Mood. No lo odio. Estoy de acuerdo, Sere. Estoy de acuerdo. Un poquitico. Romance languages. Spanish is very similar to Italian. Ciao, bella. Italian is much more difficult for me to compute, but again, I'm a very B spec noddy linguistic mind. Romance languages don't let. For some reason, I was able to pick up Spanish in school, probably because I had a genius teacher. Shout out, Leliana Leah. If you compare F2 and Fp3 for Red Bull, they'll be poor because temperature is high. Probably compare Fp1 and Fp3. Well, the problem is, go on then, this is important. Fp1. No. So right, you want to compare. It's all if it is about the temperature, you want to compare Fp2 because that's going to be similar to the qualifying temperature now. You want to do a like for like in this if we're playing forecasting games. Methinks. Couldn't agree more. Ferrari of serious delusions of grandeur, trading off history 100%. Start with you. Yeah, no, Giovanni's right. I don't know. When you hear them say 335 if you're watching Kakoni, do me a favor and smash the like. When you hear them say things like we're not gonna tinker with the suspension settings at the front because we believe wholeheartedly in push rod. It's like, well, what are you on about? Max Verstappen on a hot one. Let's go. Let's have a look at Max. What's he on? Oh, I can't even see Max. What's going on here? Oh, this is chaos, chat. Max Verstappen, 21.7 purple sector 1. Is he about to jump to the top of your timing sheets? Yellow microsectors, maybe not quite quicker than George. Or maybe just. Oh, wow. 113.375. That's 2/100ths up on George Russell. Okay. All right. We'll take that from Maximilian. We'll take that. 1/3. So I just want to see in the next 16 minutes a couple of quick laps from McLaren so we can get a benchmark. Max made that look. Yeah, he did look. He's he'll be sniffing around here, will Max? He goes well. He does go well. We'll get some stats before qualifying, but he goes well around here as far as pole laps. He's not bad. Don't let Italians hear Spanish being compared to it. True. Romance language one and all though, James. Do you know what I mean? Their Genesis story is not dissimilar. Anyone else having problems with Viaplay? Bloody Nora. Korg, I hope not. Up. Issues for Lando Norris. What's he doing? After a purple set. To look at that. Go on then. 20. Let's extrapolate this out. Oh my gosh, he was going for it as well. Look at that. Oh wow. Okay, look. So Lando Norris. We're gonna have to play extrapolation games here. Lando Norris just did a 21.6 as versus Maximilian Verstappen's timesheet topping lap. He's 13.3. He did a 21.7. So Lando Norris was already up to the tune of a 10th. Anthony Davidson makes the pertinent point though. Cheeky bottoming out from Lando Norris. Look at that. Oh yeah. You want to raise the ride height? What's he on about? What's Anthony Davidson on about? It was a personal best from Lando Norris, chap. 21.6 was the time, you joke, man. What are they doing here? Stop misinforming Sky. It's nonsense. Lando Norris absolutely did do a purple sector. He was 21.6 just then. Come on. Behave yourself. Nonsense. Lando off. Pressure. Oof, maybe. He looked quick though. I mean, if he didn't bottom out, then he would have been onto one here. Look at this. Fernando Alonso, purple sector 2 and 3. I don't believe it. Yeah, I think Max Verstappen's got a bit more time in there. Bearing in mind, Fernando Alonso, sector 2, sector 3, purple, is a 10th up, a 10th and a half up on Max Verstappen, and half a 10th up. So 0.2 is the advantage that Alonso. What is going on here? 0.2. Okay, cumulatively over sector 2 and sector 3, Alonso's best sectors 0.2 up on Max Verstappen. That doesn't sound right. Doesn't sound right, does it? I don't trust it. Something's going on. I think Max Verstappen's got extra pace in there that he's not showing. I think all of them have. The key protagonists. We're not seeing their hands just yet. Here we go. Here's Lando again. Keen to see what Lando's got in his toolbox, because I don't think we've seen everything that we're going to see from him on his outlapper. 21.6 from Lando. I think under right, here's the thing. These are not pressurized circumstances, so anticipate a hot lap incoming from Lando Norris even. That's what you're going to see. Autoletto up to 4. T minus 13 minutes is around third base. Anticipate some very quick hot laps coming in. FP3 times are nowhere, but watch McLaren's tomorrow. Tomorrow, later on today, Dwight. We'll be live, by the way, 30 minutes before qualifying, and that's where these guys are going to earn their corn proper, isn't it? It will get techier than techie things around there, I promise you. Crofty makes the point that turn nine's not necessarily the place where you'd expect these cars to be struggling and bottoming out. True, not turn 9. George literally driving through his... I know, drive to survive, George Russell. Here we go, Lando Norris. Bear with these numbers. Multi-viewer clearly having issues, chat, but hopefully they'll sort it out for qualifying, because that's more important than this. Oscar Piastri, 0.8 up over the course of sector. He's about to go top the timing sheets here. Anticipate a 12.5 incoming from Oscar Jack Piastri. Bloody no, so 12.9. That's quick. You don't hate that, eh? You don't hate that if you... Or 12.3, it bloody no. Okay, so Lando went 12.9 and I thought that was... I did a Crofty and thought that was Oscar's lap. 12.4. Bloody Nora. Mate. Over to you, Max. McLaren's are a second down the road from Maximilian Verstappen. Now, I think Max has more pace. There he is. Come after hour, come after match. Show us a sign, Max. Blink twice, chap, if you've got this under control. As so many F1 fans hope you have. Capable of keeping these papaya-coloured machines honest. A second, chat. Umanch, watch the bloody... I don't want to pat myself on my back just yet. Max isn't out of it. Never back against Max Verstappen. But we spoke about this yesterday in the dying embers of FP2, that Lando Norris on an old set of mediums was able to do a 118 just like on long run pace. That was 1.3 seconds quicker than everybody else on soft compound tyres. If you're doing the like for like and somebody's quicker than somebody else, then that matters. If you're on harder tyres, if somebody's on the medium and is 1.3 seconds faster than another protagonist on red labelled soft compound tyres, then that car's quick, chat. So many fans of you, Cameron Day, and you're a legend, right? I don't know about that. We'll get there in the end. You know what I mean? Oh my gosh, stressed. I'm stressed out here, chat. This is meant to be an inflection point for the championship. Me and Mr. Wins, a friend of the channel, were arguing about this. He's like, he said to me, and again, this is one of the multitudinous great calls from Mr. Windsor was he doesn't bat 1,000, and his crystal ball is as murky as the next person's. He's not far from batting 1,000. Very rarely a million miles away. And he said to me that he reckons that all of that pace, the majority of it, the vast portion of it as a percentage of the whole, as far as the pace of the McLaren, is derived from their sexy Venturi tunnels. It's underneath the car, nothing to do with the TD018 and that. Easy. It feels like, yeah, lucky they got rid of the flexi wings. They did it. They saw it coming, Oh, the humanity. So Lewis Hamilton. Go on, let's have a look at the engine. Anthony D says it might be engine moans, but not really, because Max Verstappen's quicker than the two McLarens through the speed trap. As so Lewis goes up to 8th on a 113.5. Oh, shoot. Houston, we have a problem. Oscar earning his pay rise. Bloody Nora. Stress. Come on, Max, give us a sign, mate. By the way, I saw the McLaren's wins flexing just as much as before. Great work, FI. How do you create? Just needs to pass the test. Heck. That's all that it needs to do. As you round third base. T minus 7 minutes. Can somebody please tell me who was really affected by the technical So I've heard chatter. Sam Collins on the F1 YouTube channel says that the big winners should be Ferrari because they weren't leveraging FlexiWing proper before. T minus 7 minutes. Houston, we have a problem. I'm depressed out here, chat. I'm not even going to lie to you. I don't like it. 400 of you in the chat can currently do me a favour and smash the like. Oh, now your boy's stressing. Look at this. Told you Piastri will get pole, says Surf Sauce. I don't know, Surf Sauce. I'm not off. I don't know. I think Lando is in the resurgence. Not that I wouldn't back against him in a pressurised. And breathe. Max, show us a sign, chap. Do something, please. Don't allow these papaya-coloured cars to just run down the road and do a 1992 Nigel Mansell and a 93 Prost in that FW40. Please, no. The long DRS zones count a lot because of, well, its length. Yeah, touche. New March Ferrari. That's what they're saying. That is what they were saying. Who knows? You got to get your waterfall chants out Umarch and normalise for some unknown variables. I think Lando is switching from old to new wing just to see the difference in performance. FP1 and FP2, they're at opposite times. Oh, I don't know, chat. T minus 5 minutes and 40 seconds, and I'm nervous. Palms sweaty, mum spaghetti. You'd only get one chance to blow, etc., etc. Oscar Piastri. Your runners and riders with T minus 5 minutes and 35 seconds remaining. OJ Piastri leads, tops the timing sheets on a 12.4 as near as makes no difference. Shortly thereafter, his teammate in the other papaya-coloured rocket ship of a MCL39 on a 12.9. Then you've got Charles Leclerc, ignore that GHI. Charles Leclerc on a 13.1. Soft compound tyres also, don't hate that. Only 0.2 adrift of Lando Norris's time. And then you have George Russell, Verstappen, flipping Nora. Max Verstappen, a whole second adrift of the... Oh no. So what we need, chat, between now and quali in a couple of hours, we need for these track temps to just... So 47.1, yeah. We need these track temps to go below 40. 39 would be nice, do you know what I mean? Flipping Nora. This doesn't bode well. Do you know what I mean? There is concern in the room from all competitive F1 season lovers. Because this doesn't, but this feels like a two-tiered championship. By two-tiered, I mean Oscar and Lando and the rest. There is only so much that a human being, and again, Max isn't human, right? He's an alien in his ability to outperform the car. Forget what I say. I'm a Max Glazer. Do you know what I mean? Truth, objectivity, and partisanship and all that good. But listen to what Nico Rosberg said. If you don't believe who Max Verstappen is, come after man. Is that Sonoda Sam coming out? Or is that Maximilian Verstappen? That's Max Verstappen. Why do I know? Because he's got a number 1 on his car. That's why. Let's go, Max. What's he got on there? I failed to look at it. Is that soft compound tyres? Let's go. Selvin. This is DEFCON 1, sir. Where's Selvin? Yeah, where is Selvin at 11th 10? Go on then, Maximilian Verstappen, to save ourselves an F1 season. Do you know what I mean? There are stakes. Let's be having you, Max, on those red labelled softest compound tyre this session at least, C3s. Let's go, Maximilian Verstappen. Yeah, let's go. No, I'm here for this. Not that this is qualified. Buying a gravitational wave camera as we speak. Lando remembers his promise after the last photo. Yeah. David Hughes. Hey, Red Bull, if you can't stand the heat, get out the kitchen. Doing a rain dance. Anything, Marco. Let's go. This is important. T minus 3 minutes as Max is on his outlap. I am here for some Maximilian Verstappen genius right now. I think we need it more now more than ever, chat. It's going to get a bit techie. Very, 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 very techie. 2 minutes 46. All eyes on Maximilian Verstappen to see how close you can put that RB21 car, notwithstanding understeer, notwithstanding an inability to minimise and mitigate for the rate at which it's tyre deg per the MCL39. It's not in the same league really, is it? But can Max Verstappen do something here? Can he do something here? Looking at the high speed, third fastest. I mean, he's all over the shop, isn't he? Let me do a quick, before we get here, let me do a quick, okay, your race lead. I'm just looking at the FP1 times. Max is a 10th off during sector 1 quickest. Max is 2/10 off through sector 2. So that's 0.3. 0.4 in FP1. Go on then, Max. Let's have a go, chap. Let's have a go. The pick to click during sector 1 is 21.4. Let's see how quickly Max can get through there. 21.4 from Oscar Piastri in that MCL39. Go on then, Max. Yellow, yellow, yellow. Look at this. Shoot, 21.8. Fudge, 4/10. No, Max. 4/10 adrift. 1 minute 30 seconds left on the docket. Is he going to go again? Is he bringing the tyre to bear? No. I think Max might go again here, you know. I think this might be a but he looks like he's going for it. 4/10. Fudge. No. 0.4. Half a set. So he's a second down. Second down going for his. No, this isn't Max Verstappen. No, bro, this is not sandbagging. Oh no, Easy G. The season has just gone to pot. Max doesn't show his hand until qualifying. Let's go, Max. Go on. Let's have a look at Max as he crosses the line. Is he going to go again? Go on then, Max Verstappen is on. So he's done that lap on 4 laps old tyres. Huh. Oh, chat. I mean, yeah, they are worn. 4 laps old. Max goes wide as he overtakes. Oh, fudge. Glaze changing. I love what you've done there. Oh, no. We are T minus 10 seconds on the docket, and we have ourselves Houston. We have ourselves a problem. Oscar, hold my beer. Max was in the gravel, so there were mistakes. That's nuts. 0.4 per sector, Joe. Fudge. I feel like we're at an F1 funeral here. They don't look bothered at Red Bull, though. You guys are being too dramatic. It's pathetic. The season isn't over during an FP3. Is it pathetic, Jules? I love the way some people use language that's too strong for a circumstance. Is it pathetic? Or is it just passion, Jules? Is this what F1 is lacking over here at the Triple C, the Cameron CC channel? Never write off, Max, says Wulong. It's pathetic. Behave yourself, Jules. Tell you what's pathetic. Viewing the sport that you love through your lens and failing to understand that that's not necessarily a unilateral perspective. Do you know what I mean? That's what's pathetic, Jules. Nothing's boring about this season so far. Jules, don't do it, mate. Don't do it. We'll fall out, Jules. Okay, all right. That's the end of your session. Currently, McLaren have the whip hand per OJ Piastri's 12.4. Oh, the humanity. To be precise, the 3 significant figures. 12.387. Wow. Wow. As Anthony Davidson tries to drudge up some circumstances and uncertainty by talking about how good Charles Leclerc, they nearly get to you. Zayn, I'm hoping, mate. Being both, I hope there's gonna be some shouting later on as Max Verstappen does some automotive pugilistic excellence, sporting endeavour par excellence again. You know what I mean? Never a unilateral perspective. 100%, James. It can't be. I can't presume that the way that somebody ingests their Formula One will be the same or similar to my own. Go on then, chat. I'm gonna excuse myself. You guys have each been legends. Downshifts are not working, mate. Something's wrong with the car. When it rains, it pours for Sir Lewis Hamilton. This fella can't get a break. But here's hoping. He's not bad around this track. He gets in when he plays himself into the... Although, to be fair about Sir Lewis, he never gets moving until this time in the season, does he? Like race 10 is when you'll see Lewis Hamilton proper rock up. Lewis is broke. Go on then, chat. We'll be back 30 minutes before qualifying. Hopefully we'll get ourselves some uncertainty and some circumstances, potentially at the hands of one Maximilian Verstappen, because I don't think anybody else can get near those papaya-coloured cars, in the hands of one Lando Norris and OJ Piastri, for it will get techier than techie things between now and then. The prosecution rests. No further questions, Your Honour.